Welcome back to patreon.com/the Derrick Lamon Experience, your one-stop shop for your gaming news, as well as Apple, YouTube, Spotify, etc., etc. This is The Last Word with Derrick Lamon. Of course, my name is Derrick Lamon Jackson. Today, I want to talk about something that's very, very interesting. I touched on this on the Week in Gaming, not this one in particular, but something very close. Today, at the time I'm recording this, Polygon was acquired by someone else, and mass layoffs ensued. Speaking of which, Polygon, great as far as gaming journalism goes. As I mentioned on the episode of the Week in Gaming, one of my favorite gaming journalists, Tina Amini, came from Polygon, or maybe Tina came from Kotaku. I don't remember. It may have been Kotaku, actually. Now that I think about it, if you're listening to the Week in Gaming, and you're like, Tina Amini did not come from Polygon. I actually do believe it was Kotaku. Now that I think about it, I apologize, but again, these smaller sites are being swallowed up en masse. That brings me to today. It was coming from VideoGamesChronicle.com. The future of Giant Bomb website is in doubt following prominent staff departures. That's right. The trailblazing video game website Giant Bomb has faced significant staff departures as owner fandom claims the brand will undergo strategic reset and realignment. The news comes after weeks of uncertainty around the website, which abruptly ceased live streaming content last month. Earlier this week, the 888th episode of Giant Bombcast, one of the longest-running video game podcasts of all time, was published and then swiftly removed. The episode included a lengthy section where the host mocked a series of overreaching brand guidelines given to the website by the current owner fandom. These guidelines included rules on swearing and other restrictions on content, which were entirely different from the style of content that Giant Bomb has built its reputation on, hence the mockery from the cast. On his last of the Nintendogs podcast following the removal, Giant Bomb staff member Jeff Grubb said that while the decision to remove the episode wasn't his decision, the decision to keep it down was. Longtime staff member Dan Rickard discussed the issues faced by the site during a stream on Wednesday, claiming he would never appear on Giant Bomb again, and that the direction that fandom was taking the company was not one he would like to be a part of. Rickard insinuated on the same stream that he would continue doing what he loves in the future, in addition to his Fire Escape podcast. Grubb also confirmed his departure, writing, quote, "Well, that was a dream come true. Knew it wouldn't last, though. Out of a job at the moment, but I'll always be doing patreon.com/game-mess." Contributor Mike Minotti also confirmed he would no longer contribute to Giant Bomb going forward. Quote, "Needless to say, I will no longer be contributing to Giant Bomb. Nothing but love to all the wonderful people from there in GameSpot. Jeff was a workhorse and a hero for the way he shouldered so much responsibility there, and I'm furious with the way execs treated him. We aren't going anywhere." Giant Bomb owner fandom has responded to the uncertainty around the brand. Quote, "As you know, we've temporarily paused Giant Bomb live streaming, and that content is currently available on demand for our audience," a spokesperson for fandom told Kotaku in an email. "We understand this programming pause isn't ideal for our audience, but it's part of a strategic reset and realignment of our media brands. We have some creative ideas for the future of Giant Bomb that we're actively working on that we'll be able to communicate more about soon." Giant Bomb, of course, was launched back in 2008 by veteran games journalist Jeff Gertzman following his termination from GameSpot. He, alongside Brad Shoemaker, Vinny Caravella, and Ryan Davis, serves as the site's original staff. A pioneer in video content in the video game media industry, Giant Bomb built a loyal following to the staff's unwavering honesty and the rapidly growing Giant Bombcast. The website, along with some sister sites, was acquired by CBS Interactive in 2012, reuniting Gertzman with the company that fired him in 2008. It was around this time the Giant Bomb subscription model gained traction. The site offered fans the chance to pay around $5 per month for premium video content, essentially establishing crowd-supported games media model years before the launch of Patreon. In 2013, Ryan Davis passed away at the age of 34. I think whether they realized it or not, most people who write about video games kind of wanted to be Ryan Davis, wrote then Polygon editor Justin McElroy. "I know I did. Ryan was that rare voice that was able to be brutally critical and frank and funny and still be well-liked basically everybody. How could anybody walk the line that well?" In 2020, Giant Bomb was sold to CBS to Red Ventures as part of a deal that also saw the sale of CNET and GameSpot. The following year, Brad Shoemaker, Vinny Caravella, and longtime Giant Bomb staffer Alex Navarro announced that they were leaving the company. The three formed Nextlander, a Patreon-supported outlet. In June of 2022, it was announced that the site's last remaining founder, Jeff Gertzman, will be leaving the website. Gertzman would later confirm on his new podcast, The Jeff Gertzman Show, that he was fired, although he later said he planned to leave the company prior to his termination. In October of 22, Giant Bomb was acquired by Fandom Incorporated. Months later, two Giant Bomb staffers, including longtime video producer Jason Oerstreicher, were laid off. Giant Bomb's entire library of premium content has been archived by fans who have anticipated the closure of Giant Bomb for some time. So the conversation today is what is happening to games media. And I say that as somebody who runs a Patreon, who on that Patreon I talk about a lot of different things. Generally, gaming was the first thing. That was the launch of it. Now, we had a podcast. It was a weekly thing where it was myself, Sterling, Juan, Courtney, and KG for a few episodes as well. I'm still very close to all of those people today. We still talk on a daily basis. I don't talk to Courtney like daily, but I do talk to her at least once a week or once every 2 weeks or something like that. Sterling I talk to every day. Juan I talk to every day. KG I talk to every day. Those were my friends and family members before we got into this podcasting thing. That had nothing to do with it. This is very interesting for a number of reasons. Number one, we are at the point, and I say this, and it's hard to say this, but I'm going to say it, and I don't care. Fuck it. Some of us have to be consumers. Everybody can't be a content creator. The fact that people have taken this to the point where they're going on first dates with people and bringing a camera and microphone and recording all of it. Like, this is not how I want to go on my first evening out with you, where you're documenting everything. Taking pictures for like memories and scrapbooks or whatever, that's cool. Documenting this so it can go on your Patreon or your YouTube or your Instagram or whatever the fuck else you're, posting on, that's a little fucking weird. Privacy almost has no place in our common lives. We should all know less about each other. And I've been saying for a while now, we probably need to take cameras off of phones because it's too accessible. Trauma happens and people immediately reach for their phone to record it. You should not reach for your phone if somebody gets shot. The only reason you should reach for your phone, God forbid if somebody gets shot, is to call the fucking paramedics. You don't record somebody lying there, with blood dripping out of them. That's insane. Journalism as a whole has changed. Because some of the greatest journalists who went to actual schools and earned degrees, they're looked at as, get that unk shit out of here, get that lame shit out of here. Streamers are considered the new journalists at this time. I would never call myself a journalist because I don't have a degree. I can't do what Elliot Wilson does. I can't do what his wife Danielle does. I can't do what Jamel Hill does. I can't do what Michael Smith does. I cannot do what Rob Markman does. I can't do what Colin Moriarty does. I can't do what Greg Miller does. They do it at an incredible fucking rate. And I'm not even on the fucking spectrum of any of those people. And let me be very fucking frank about the fact that those are all my idols as far as journalism goes. Would I call myself a blogger? Not even really that anymore. And people are like, well, you're a content creator. And I would never fucking call myself that. I think that everybody has found this way where they take the cheap road and the easy road out, and it has killed true journalism. Because most people will pick up a micro, like I've said this as well, hip hop has suffered because it's the lowest entry point to any genre of music. Some kid can't pick up a guitar strum and not be able to play the guitar and record a song and then that shit go viral. It doesn't work like that. But anybody can buy a microphone, an audio interface, and connect it to their laptop and get some free beats from soundclick.com, and then they have a viral hit. Next thing you know, you got a career. Post Malone. Or all the YNs, or like, oh, you don't know such and such? No. They don't have any true artistic talent. They don't. So now they're like, oh, if you don't like Kai Cenat, you're hating. I love Kai Cenat. If you don't love I Show Speed, you're hating. I love Speed as well. But also, Speed walking around with a camera crew following him is not journalism. Just because he got to be in the Royal Rumble and has appeared at WrestleMania, that's not... A lot of people have a problem with Dave Meltzer rights. But Dave Meltzer's still a journalist, whether you like it or not. Speed is not a journalist. Ariel is a journalist. Van Vliet is a journalist. Speed is not a journalist. Kai Cenat is not a journalist. Now, I'm looking around. Polygon. Giant Bomb. People are getting laid off at other companies. Journalism has taken a back seat because the entry bar is so fucking low. And it's absolutely fucking disgusting. I get it. People get review codes and all that shit. That's perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine. But if you want to be called a journalist, yeah, I'm not going to respect you unless you go put in the work and put in the hours. I'm sorry. That's just bullshit. We have killed every true existing art form down to the simplest little bullshit minutia that anybody can do it. Aiden Ross is not an expert on hip hop. But for whatever reason, Drake keeps running over to Aiden Ross to do streams, but wants to be respected as a true hip hop artist, as a true lyricist. But you run over to Aiden Ross. Are you fucking kidding me? Nobody holds you down more than Ack, and I can't stand academics. Nobody holds you down more than Ack, but you won't give him a stream. And let's be clear, academics is not a fucking journalist either. But I'm seeing way too much, and the barrier for entry is way too fucking easy. And I've often said this. Oh, such and such got a mixtape coming out. How long they been rapping? Oh no, he just started rapping 2 weeks ago. We cannot all be rappers. Some of us have to be fucking consumers. And that goes the same for this. And everybody's like, well, you're just jealous because these kids are making it and you're not. I'm not jealous. Is it crazy that these kids don't put in half the work that I do, yet they walk around with my yearly salary around their neck? Yeah, that's fucking crazy. But that's because the barrier for entry is so fucking simple at this point. So what's going to happen when Instagram is no longer viable? Or no, TikTok is no longer viable. These social media influencers, like, oh, such and such is dating such and such. Well, I know such and such was in this movie and has this album out. Who the hell is such and such as they're dating? They're a social media influencer. What happens if social media goes down, if it doesn't exist? Because all those girls who were IG baddies were getting the Fashion Nova bag. And then Instagram's like, yeah, we're going to start running ads. And these girls are like, wait, what? No, you're taking out of my pocket. Because Fashion Nova at that point does not have to pay 30 fucking girls in, on the Eastern Seaboard when they can run one ad and it's going to be the same fucking traction. So to all these people who call themselves content creators and streamers and, oh, I'm a journalist. You're not, but whatever. What are you going to do when it's no longer viable to do things the way that you do it currently? Do you have a degree? Do you have a skill? Have you learned a trade? Can you go out tomorrow and do something? Do you have work ethic? Because it don't take much. Literally, some of these people wake up, turn the camera on, walk around their house with the camera, brush their teeth, eat meals. How the fuck is this entertaining? Please tell me. It's not anything you don't do your fucking self at home. So when somebody says, man, I don't know, Jessica's just not putting out great content anymore. The only thing Jessica didn't do today was maybe feed her cat. And that means the content isn't great anymore? I don't know. But again, my question is, what are you guys going to do when it collapses? Because I've seen everything come back down to bare minimum. And you're fucking next. And I don't want to wish, any kind of evil or bad juju or burn bread or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But what goes up must come down, baby. That's all I'm saying. Just make sure you have somewhere to land when your ass falls. Because it's inevitable. All right, it's inevitable. Ja Rule was one of the biggest artists on the planet at one point. Right? Demi Moore is still gorgeous in her 60s. So many actors and actresses, they were like the shit in the 90s. And now their name's not called anymore. Everybody can't be Robert De Niro. Everybody can't be Al Pacino. Everybody can't be Denzel Washington. Everybody can't be Halle Berry. Everybody can't be Barbara Streisand. I don't fucking know. What was hot in 1995 is not necessarily hot in 2025. And just like us, and just like those that came before us, you too, my friend, will age. So I implore you, I beg of you, to find a true skill, find a true trade, and find out what your backup plan is going to be. Because Ninja was the hottest streamer around 3-4 years ago. Ninja was the hottest streamer around, bar fucking none. And nobody talks about him anymore. And Ninja actually played video games. Now these streamers are just walking around or talking about this album, calling it a classic when it just came out 20 fucking minutes ago. You haven't even consumed the whole fucking album at this point. So again, I implore you to find yourself a trade, find a skill, find something, because again, what goes up will always come down. Anyway, that's my time today. I'm going to end this like I always end things. Believe in yourself first and foremost, because if you don't believe in yourself, well, of course, nobody else will believe in you. As always, my name is Derrick Lamon Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.